Okay, everyone, this is my spoiler review reaction to the new Netflix documentary, Our Father. Now, this is also a Blumhouse production, which had me very intrigued. And knowing this is a production company that does a lot of horror movies, it was interesting to see how they'd handle this subject into a documentary. And I was so impressed by this documentary. First off, I am still processing. I literally just watched it, and it's like going through my head and trying to process what I just witnessed. And if you're here watching this now, my video, after you just watched that doc, you're probably feeling the same way. And I think that is one reason why it is so well done, because the effect I'm feeling, right, and I think you probably are too. And the message, the call to action it's giving, one of those documentaries that this will cause an uproar, and rightfully so, and wake people up, right? It's so interesting because what I like this documentary did was it took Jacoba's story from the top as sibling number one, and that they gave a number to each sibling, right, to connect them all, which really was effective, but also that it was kind of masking itself in a sense in the beginning, that you're like, okay, where is this going to go? Is it, how many siblings is this going to be? I'm thinking it's going to be 10 people, right? And they slowly keep rising that number. And then you're kind of just like, oh my God, it's just like hitting you like a train. And it toys with you in a sense of like, they're throwing things at you later in the middle that they save, that really makes it hit harder, right? That things look normal and then they go haywire. And I think that it had such a confidence documentary because it took its time with each sibling decided to focus on, but it was all stuff they kept in that was worth it, convincing, important. I didn't feel like there was a part that was like, okay, this is getting redundant. That's what I was kind of afraid with a story like this, that it would literally get redundant, and it doesn't at all. And I think they just put everything so well in different spots, and you see how it's a story of someone who is this on the outside, this religious fertility doctor, and he's doing this awful thing to so many people and how many people it affects, right? And I think that what was so great at they angled in such a hard story to watch and dark story to watch is that they gave Jacoba, the hero role in the doc, and connecting it to, in that moment, The Handmaid's Tale was so powerful because you see people who watch The Handmaid's Tale will say like, oh my God, a lot of this is like real life. Well, this documentary shows that. It shows you that yes, we are having a lot of facets in society in this country where it feels like The Handmaid's Tale. And that hit because you see the last lines that they show, the text at the end of the doc, about it's not even a federal law protecting against this awful act. And it makes you sick. It makes you angry. And that something needs to be done now. So it's doing a just job, this documentary. This is why these things exist, mainly for this, right? This is the power of a Netflix doc, the eyes that will see this. And I like that they again angled Jacoba now really as the June of the story. That, she gives us the hope in the doc for someone who's standing up for herself, a leader, right? And caring. She's not just doing this for her, she's doing it for all the other victims of this man, the children of these victims that are also victims, right? And that it was just amazing to see. It gave me hope in humanity in that angle, where you're seeing a horrible side of humanity with a doctor, and you're seeing a good side with her, and that she, messages people first, right, when they get a connection. And it reminds me that there's still sick stuff we're just discovering in the big eye of society, and that it's helped so much that new technologies come out, especially with the DNA test, right? That the big catalyst for this guy getting exposed, and then them saying 44 other doctors are guilty of this so far, right? That have been caught through these DNA sites that I don't know all the names, but that is how important, those things are. And then that these guys are getting caught now. But it reminds me of when it was really first coming out to the public eye that, there's a lot of priests doing horrible things to children. And it feels like that level where it's like, oh my God, like there's infertility doctors doing this, and not just this awful man, Dr. Klein, but these other doctors are out there, 44, and that's terrifying. And that this man's story, that it hit 94 people and counting, so there's probably way more, then you wonder with these other doctors how many more there are. So it's haunting, it's chilling, it's eye-opening, and I don't think it wasted a minute. And I think I was impressed that they got a lot of people to tell their story, and that you got these honest stories. It doesn't feel fabricated, any of it. It doesn't feel overly edited. It doesn't feel overly dramatized. Nothing of that you can kind of see some other documentaries falter in. It's just truth, and it's getting the right people to say the truth, and a good way of revealing it that you can't, it's thrown in your face. You can't deny what's happening, what's so sick about this. And I didn't even see it, and it's right before your eyes. I'm like watching it. I'm like, yeah, it's like they all look so similar, obviously. But then you don't even like subconsciously, it's like, oh my God, they're all white, blue eyes, and like they're saying, what just was like, whoa to me was when they revealed the doctor, this cult and how it's that superior race and that whole Nazi mindset, KKK mindset, like awful. And this is part of this, and that there's people doing this, and it's in your doctor's office, so crazy. And it's crazy too, just seeing them all in the same town, that they have to be careful even when their children date, and they're all near each other. It's surreal, and yeah, I mean, eye-opening. I don't know what else you'd want from a documentary like this, and I think they respectfully did it, that it wasn't over like movieatized, let's say, if that's even a word, but they did it with respect, which I like, and that it makes you, I mean, sick to your stomach when they revealed the last sibling they really gave us a big moment with, that her own gynecologist was this man. That was her father. Was, oh my God. Like I didn't know if I could watch anymore at that point. And it's like, that's the point of these documentaries, to make you uncomfortable. That's how people are going to get it. And it didn't shy away from that. And it's supposed to make you angry. And a theme running in a lot of docs is how awful our law is in this country. Like, it's everywhere. And you get angry. And it makes you angry that this man isn't in jail right now, and that the judge was feeling sorry for him. And he shows you the corruption with the prosecutor from another town who wrote like a recommendation letter to him, and the power the elite have, and money, and that he was also using his money to threaten Jacoba, and that he had no remorse. And it's like really scary stuff they went through too, because they're the victims already, and they're getting threatened by him. And not only that, but you can't imagine what these people go through on a day-to-day basis. And you feel sympathy for these people, and it just makes you think about life in general. I mean, it's probably going to be the craziest story to come out of a documentary in years. I can't, I mean, Tiger King was something, but this is like really something, because this is a huge issue in our country, and a story that you would think is completely like, oh, that was only in the olden days, right? Or like, oh, that was only a written fable somewhere. But no, this is real. And you want justice. You want justice like the siblings want justice, like the victims, the moms want justice. And that has to happen. And I hope it happens. And I hope that law changes. I hope this man gets his justice to him, and not just a $500 fine and a slap on the wrist. And it's, it's haunting, and there's a long way to go. So I think such a well done documentary. I am so impressed by it, and I'm still thinking about it and trying to do this review. It's just a lot. But I'm giving this doc a 9.3. I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on it. Any information they have on the story that's not in it, I'd love to hear as well. What you guys feel from it. Anything. Let me know in the comments below. I really love to hear your thoughts on this. Please make sure to subscribe if you like my reviews. I do movie reviews, TV reviews, celebrity interviews as well. And please follow me at Steve Varley Show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for more of me. And I'll see you next time.